What is up, everybody, and welcome to another daily drop brought to you by our amazing new sponsor, Caldera Lab. They focus on high-performance men's skincare products. We're going to talk a lot about them even more in depth later on in this podcast, so stick around for that, but just wanted to give them a quick shout-out because we're excited to be sponsoring and partnering with them. I'm Jacob Turner. He's THI publisher Andrew Jones. And AJ, we're here for another Carolina basketball related drop. We're going to be talking about Carolina's kind of roster renovation and kind of what it reveals about what Hubert Davis wants to ideally do with his team next season. So just to go over, Carolina's brought in essentially 7 new guys, 5 transfers and 2 freshmen being Elliot Cadeau and Zayden High, transfers being Cormac Ryan, Paxton Wojcik, Jalen Withers, James Okonkwo, and Harrison Ingram. So a lot of new faces in the Smith Center, a lot of new faces in this program and on this roster. And I know you and David have talked a little bit about this. I think we've talked a little bit about this in previous drops, but not a ton. When you add these many new faces and the skill sets that they bring, it's usually a kind of an indication of what Hubert Davis or whatever the coaches of that program is trying to do. And when you look at these guys, I think it's safe to say that the way Carolina maybe plays and approaches opponents and approaches games next season will likely change solely based on the personnel that he's brought in, because what we can tell, it seems like each guy, and some of these different guys in particular that will have prominent roles, bring a little bit something different than what Carolina had on the roster last season. So talk to me a little bit about what his rebuild, Hubert Davis I'm talking about, and his renovation of this team. What does it kind of align with, and what does it kind of make you think Carolina might do differently next season than maybe we saw in the first 2 seasons under Hubert Davis?
Well, I will take Hubert at his own words from the summer press conference here recently when he acknowledged that, that he got what he was looking for adding to the roster from the portal. And then, of course, Elliot Cadeau being sort of the exclamation mark on that, taking it one step further. And really, when you think about it, James Okonkwo even more, because they needed that one guy that could back up Armando, and they got that. So absolutely, as far as the way he wants to play, he said he identified the 2 things that they struggled with tremendously last year. They were terrible 3-point shooting team, second worst in school history, one of the worst in the nation. They were dead last in the ACC. And then he brought up ball distribution, facilitating, assists. They were bottom or next to last in the ACC in assists. They were way near the bottom nationally in assists. And that's not North Carolina basketball. It's been an assist program for years. It's a point to the passer program. And there wasn't a whole lot of pointing to the passer last year. Bad shot selection, lack of awareness, and the fact they just didn't have ball handlers on the floor. So Hubert called a ton of set plays. We were critical at times of the number of set plays, and I had a couple players tell me other teams know what we're running. And it kind of got to that point as they got into January. And if you were to have a graph about offensive efficiency dropping, you'd see a drop from about mid to late January on. Everyone started doubling Armando. They knew where the plays were going to go. And you had a bunch of guys on the floor that just weren't threats to beat you with the 3, and they weren't threats to put the ball on the floor and get by you. That's different now. So he wants a team that could shoot the ball. Well, you bring in a group that collectively shot 34.5% from 3-point range a year ago, and you usher out a group that was just under 30% from 3 a year ago. That's a significant difference, especially when different ones can shoot. They have a lot of different guys that can make threes. The other thing is ball handlers. If the projected starting lineup of Elliot Cadeau, RJ Davis, Cormac Ryan, and Harrison Ingram holds, you have 4 guys on the floor who either once Elliott plays his first game, he will have had the ball in his hands at the end of shot clock situations, right? End of clock situations. RJ's done that a ton. Cormac Ryan's done that a lot when he was at Notre Dame. And Harrison Ingram did that a lot at Stanford. He actually ran the point at times at Stanford. So you've got ball handlers. You've got guys who play with their heads up. They know where teammates are. They're assist people. And even Paxton Wojcik coming off the bench has been a pretty high assist guy at times. So you have what you do is you have movement. You have spacing because guys can shoot. You have guys that know how to use space because they can use the dribble. they can use a dribble to move defenses to find teammates. And that also means that Armando Bacot's going to be in a lot more isolation situations with one defender. And you got 4 guys on the floor that will see him, that have the willingness to get him the ball, and have proven that they can get teammates the ball. So I think what you'll find is a little bit more symmetry on offense. You'll find tremendous unselfishness on offense, and you'll see a lot more pointing to the passer. These are kids that enjoy connecting to teammates for buckets. Harrison Ingram loves it, absolutely loves it. And with the kind of chemistry this group has built off the court, if they can translate that on the court, you'll see it with how often they point to the passer. The more chemistry they have on the court, the more pointing to the passer there's going to be. And because everyone that's on the floor will be capable of scoring and mostly capable of facilitating, I think you're going to see a team in which the opposition must guard all 5 players. They must honor and respect all 5 players at all times. When they go to the bench, Paxson Wojcik can hit threes. I think I can't remember, he said 87 in his career, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe more than that in his career.
Something like that.
Yeah. And he's also had a lot of assists in his career, and he's a guy that knows how to play off of people. Go back and watch the film when Brown played Carolina 2 years ago. And anyone who doubts whether or not Paxson Wojcik can play, just watch that film. Ask Caleb Love if Paxson Wojcik can play.
100%.
Caleb will tell you yes. All right. You bring Jalen Withers off the bench. Jalen's not a big assist guy, but he's a baseline guy with hops. So if he's able to, Brady Mack was good at losing his man, being sneaky on the baseline. If Jalen can be sneaky on the baseline, which is what he was at times in Louisville, and guys can find him, he's going to get a lot of easy buckets, a lot of backdoor stuff, a lot of off stuff, a lot of back screen stuff, a lot of cutting and being rewarded. James Okonkwo is a really good cutter. He's a screen and roll guy. And if you have awareness on the court, willingness, and the ability to execute and find him, he's going to get some easy baskets. That's what Hubert has in mind. That's his vision, Jacob. And when you look at the different skill sets that he brought in and how they should complement one another, that gives us pretty good insight into what Hubert envisages trying to be moving forward with this program.
One word comes to mind: balance. I think this roster just has a lot more balance to it. And I think it, compared to last year and even the previous year, I think with what we understand Hubert is ultimately trying to do and what he now has at his disposal, I think the roster makes a lot more sense for the type of offense and type of style that we ultimately think he's going to play based on what we've heard from him. Real quickly, though, AJ, we'll talk about that a little bit more in a second. I do want to give a shout out to our sponsor, our amazing new sponsor, and that's Caldera Lab. AJ, skincare is something that requires a lot of attention, right? And I think I speak for most guys. I won't say all guys, most guys out there when I say that it's something that we lack a little bit. It's something we struggle with. It's something we struggle to find consistency on. A little bit different for women. I get heckled by my wife all the time. I know you probably get heckled by your wife as well, AJ. Make sure you wash your face at night. Make sure you wash it a couple times a day. Make sure you put this product on before you go to bed. After you get out of the shower, make sure you put these two serums on to help your skincare and everything like that. I struggle with it. I struggle with consistency. It gets a little bit overwhelming at times. And I think I speak for a lot of men when I say that. But I've got good news for everybody. All the guys out there, Caldera Lab makes it easy. It makes it so much more easy to follow and so much more easy to do. They've got the clean slate to start your day and end your day. They've got the base layer to help moisturize and hydrate your skin, AJ. They've got the good face serum that just is an all-around great product. And they've even got the Icon eye serum you can put on your eyes to help with that as well. So they've got clinically proven products that not only help reduce wrinkles and fine lines and signs of aging, but they just help your all over around skin quality on your face in particular. And they're the leader in men's skincare products, and they're here to save your day and your confidence, because nothing will give you more confidence than a clean face, a glowing face, and one that's properly hydrated and looking good for those first impressions, for those first dates. You know what I'm saying, AJ? It's something we all run into, and the better we can look, especially me and you, AJ, I'm looking at both of us right now. The more not only our viewers are going to, it's gonna be a little bit easier for our viewers to watch along as they stare at us on a daily drop every day for 15 minutes. But it's just going to help us all around. You know what I mean, AJ? As much as we're outside too, in the sun, covering games, all that stuff, applying those skincare products will help you, will help get some of those wrinkles away, help with some of that aging that we all deal with. And it's a win-win situation for everybody at hand. And Caldera Lab makes it so easy to follow and start that day-to-day regimen. Only takes 30 seconds in the morning, only takes 30 seconds in the evening. Couldn't be any easier than that. So guys, check them out at calderalab.com and make sure you use the promo code THI. Again, simple and easy, promo code THI to save on your next order. Check us out, calderalab.com/THI. Get 20% off on your next order. Links in the description below. Just go down there, click it. It'll take you right over to our specific webpage, and you can go ahead and get your skincare regimen game started. Guys, check them out, calderalab.com. Exciting sponsorship. Really looking forward to continuing to partnering with them. 20% off on your next order. Links in the description below with that promo code THI. AJ, real quickly, I mentioned balance beforehand. We're going to wrap this one up in a second. I want to ask you one question. I do think this is a more balanced roster. A lot of chatter has been surrounding, and we've hit on it a little bit in previous pods and a little bit in here, but a lot of chatter from fans, I think, has been around speed of play. Carolina's got away from playing in the transition the last couple of years. There's no two ways around it. Last year it was almost non-existent at times, and we learned why and some of the sets and when they were being called as the season went on, and it was just very evident that that part of Carolina basketball that's so synonymous with this program wasn't really there anymore, for lack of a better word. When you look at a guy like Cadeau coming in, you look at some of the other parts that are coming in, your Jalen Withers, your Cormac Ryan, your Paxton Wojcicks, guys that can get out in space and get out in transition and make plays. And you look at some of the guys returning in RJ and Armando as well. Do you expect to see a faster, more transition-based team than what we've seen over the past couple seasons under Hubert Davis?
Well, I think that I believe that will be the case. Now, Hubert, we had him for 35 minutes, and you could, if we got him for 2 hours, we would not have run out of questions to ask, obviously.
Yeah, of course.
So we'll have more opportunities, and maybe that's something that's better to ask about once they get into the in-season practices in late September, or their camp or preseason practices, I guess is what it would be, leading up to the season. They've had their July practices, so they've done a lot of stuff. I don't know the specifics about the things they've worked on. I do know that when their Twitter handle puts out clips of them in fast break mode, I think that says something. They're not just trying to entertain people. Mm-hmm. They don't want to lead people on. Sensitive the fan base is to that. So I believe with the personnel, you'd be foolish not to run more, but you have to be really good defensively to run. You have to get stops, and you have to get rebounds, you have to turn and kick and go. And I do think that this club has the potential to be much better defensively because of their more multiple. There's a lot of multiplicity with this group. There are a lot of guys that could guard multiple spots. Hubert said that Jalen Withers could guard 1 through 5. Now, he said Pete Nance could guard 1 through 5 too, so take it with a grain of salt. However, I've seen Jalen Withers play in person.
Sure.
So I've seen him play a few times in person, and he can. I've seen the guys coming in. I've seen Wojcik once in person when he was at Brown. I saw Ryan 6 times in person. Once at Stanford, once when he was at Stanford, and he put 14 or 15 up on the Tar Heels in Dean Dome as a true freshman and had a bunch of assists. And I saw him play 5 times with Notre Dame, and I've seen Withers play 4 times with Louisville in person. So I do think so. I think they're going to challenge more shots. If you go back to the end of the game 2 years ago at Louisville, when people were throwing stuff on the court and I got hit in the head with crap, that was a raucous atmosphere. Go to the end of that game in regulation and look at the block that Jalen Withers makes on RJ Davis. That's an indication. When you get a block like that, someone should get the ball, you turn and head up the other way. And if you have a guy like Elliot Cadeau, who is excellent at pitching the ball ahead, I think your release guys, you have to have a release guy. Let's say Cormac or Paxton are the release guy. Elliot gets it, he pitches it ahead, and you're in transition right there. I don't think they had great release guys last year. I think they were so uber focused on certain things. They just didn't have that wiring. They became so I don't know the right word to describe it would be, but it's almost like in baseball, station to station baseball. It's a single and everybody moves up a base.
It's like robotic in a way.
Instead of guys taking an extra base, I think they were sort of station to station approach to what they did all around last year. I think that's going to be looser this season. So you'll see more of that. And he's got the personnel to do it. So I also think that you mentioned something about the balance. I think part of the balance isn't that they're going to have 5 guys score 14 points a night. I think the balance is that they're going to go into a game, and I believe Elliot Cadeau can score. So does David Sisk.
Agree.
They have 5 guys that can go for 20 on a given night.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's
maybe
huge.
even 6, because I think Jalen Withers has more to his game. He could be in a situation where there's some offside putbacks, where he's beating the guy like a drum on the baseline. He gets into the open court. He gets a couple baskets that way. He gets a putback slam, gets fouled, hits some free throws. Next thing you know, Jalen Withers is at 20 points. I think there's a path to 20 plus for 6 of these guys. When last year, the path to 20 plus was really for 4 of them.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really kind of a stretch to think that Pete Nance was a 20-point guy very often. Everything had to work out. And part of that was Armando had to be off the court some of the time. Mm-hmm. Pete was more efficient offensively the times when Armando wasn't in the game. And Caleb was a crapshoot because he just couldn't shoot half the time. And Leaky was not a threat for 20 points. So this is different. So I like that. I think the balance is, boy, who is it tonight? I think RJ and Armando are going to be the mainstays. Mm-hmm. Who's the third guy that flares up that game? Harrison Ingram may have 8 points against Georgia Tech and 8 against Boston College, but he may go 24 against Virginia Tech.
Yeah.
I think that's what you're going to find, and that's what's going to make game planning for this club such a hair-pulling experience for people. So you got to pick your poison.
Yeah.
And it's going to be – and I think that if teams do that, whoever they sell out from has the opportunity to exploit them.
Exactly. That's huge. It's huge because you could be like, well, all right, well, we're gonna double team Armando tonight. Okay, well, then you're leaving Cormac Ryan. Yeah, then you're leaving Jalen Withers wide open. Okay, no, all right, we'll stay on Armando. Maybe we'll focus a little more on Ryan tonight. Okay, well, we can do with Harrison Ingram and RJ Davis. You can't really just double team a guy. Like we saw at times last year where you might have a hot guy and you could kind of try, from the opponent's perspective, all right, we're going to try to nullify him. And we're going to leave a shooter open, maybe like a Leaky Black. You can leave him open because he's not consistently going to hit shots. Even Caleb Love in a way, you could leave him open at times because you never really quite knew what you were going to get. Again, balance, I think, for college basketball, especially in today's landscape, is so crucial. And you're absolutely right. You got 5 or 6 guys that can give you buckets on any given night. That's a great, I'm not going to say problem to have, trying to see how everybody's going to get theirs every night.
No, it's good.
It's fantastic to have on your roster. So I think that's a big plus.
Yeah, teams sold out last year, doubling Armando and sometimes even dropping a guard down there.
Yeah.
If Caleb's 0 for 5, over 6 early, taking bad shots, you drop off him.
Yeah.
They're still going to take that shot. It's still going to be a bad shot if it's rushed and he's not shooting well. So go look at Armando's score line last year. Game log. He didn't score 20. He didn't reach 20 after the NC State game at home, January 21st, the night that he broke the rebound record. Mm-hmm. He didn't hit the 20-point mark again. That shows you what other teams sold out to do. I don't think you can do that this year.
No.
You can't. So I think that, and that's Hubert's vision. I think that's what Hubert, all coaches want that, right? But Hubert went out and got it.
Yeah.
Which is why I think that this was an A+ off season for Hubert Davis.
Agreed. It's his roster now. A lot of great pieces. I really like the additions and in theory on paper, what they bring to this roster and to this team. We'll have to wait and see what happens during the season. We both can agree on that because you never know. But I think from what he said, from what we've heard throughout the offseason, from who he's brought in, I think all signs are positive in Carolina, and all signs go for the Tar Heels to have a bounce back season from a really disappointing one last year. So we'll see what happens. We'll be here to cover it every step of the way. Go ahead and like this video below if you're excited about the new look roster, if you think there's more balance, if you're excited about just how these different guys bring different elements to the roster as a whole. Let's see how many likes we can run up on this one. And check them out, guys. I'm going to continue to say it. Check them out, calderalab.com. 20% off on your order with the code THI. Link is in the description below. It'll take you right over to our page, and you can sign up and go ahead and buy some of their awesome products. Get on it, guys. We got a challenge for everybody.
I'm going to use it. I'm going to use it.
AJ, I'm on it, man.
I'm going to run a test. I'm not going to let my wife know I'm doing it. And I'm going to test it a couple weeks later. She's like, you're looking fairly palatable now.
You're glowing. You're glowing.
As opposed
today,
to, she'll never say I'm glowing. She'll never say I'm glowing.
I'm reaching on that one.
Look, my wife doesn't, she lies to me a little bit about how I look. I don't think she's going to lie to that extent. You're glowing, honey. I don't think she's going down that path.
Yeah, she ain't going to gas you up with so much, right?
I know she's BSing me if she did. So, but I'm going to use this stuff. I'm not going to let her know. And she doesn't watch our pod, so she'll never know I'm doing it. And I'll just see if she notices a difference.
I'm doing the same thing because Carly doesn't watch our pods either. So I'm going to see it. And she's, like I said, she's always on me about it. She's always on me about it. So I think if I do it for maybe a week or two, because again, it's not something that's going to have to happen overnight. You got to be consistent with it for a little bit, but you will see results if you do that.
All right.
I think she's going to notice.
Make a prediction. People need to make a prediction on here.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do this. If you're still watching,
before they notice?
Well, who notices first, Carly or Kim?
Okay.
So go ahead and send us a DM. Tell us who you think notices first. Carly is Jacob's new wife.
Mm-hmm.
I was at their wedding back in May. It's a lot of fun.
Not too long ago, man.
He's still married.
He's still going strong.
In a few months. He's still going strong. Kim and I, we've got 18 and a half years in the books almost. So bless her heart. She's done society a service there, taking me off the books.
God bless her, man. God bless her. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, she's a trooper and a half right there, baby. So which one of them notices first? So go ahead and tell us in DM. It's either Kim or Carly. And whoever's right, we're going to randomly choose one of you, and we're going to give you 3 months free of THI.
I like that, AJ. And that's a great time to do so because football is ramping up. Basketball is not too long around the corner. You're getting that 3 months.
And you also, and to qualify, you also have to include in the DM the name of the product, the 100%. Name of our sponsor.
Yep, 100%. Make sure you shout out Caldera Lab, 100%. Reach us out to us on Twitter, Facebook, whatever you want.
Whose wife notices Jacob and me using Caldera Lab first? Say how long it's going to be, who notices first, and you have to have the name of the product in the DM, and whoever is right will randomly pull a name, and you get 3 months free to THI.
Sounds like an easy enough job for me, AJ. Again, Twitter, Facebook, DM us, just mention us on Twitter, whatever is easier for you guys. Heck, you can come over to our message boards as well, where we post these and do it over there too if you're a premium subscriber, which you can sign up for just $8.33 a month. But really excited to be sponsored. We're going to see how this goes, AJ. I think it'll take a while before one of us notices, but I know they will eventually because the facial, it's just going to change so much, man. We're going to be glowing walking around in a few weeks after using these products consistently. So check them out. Promo code THI, 20% off on your next order. I've been Jacob Turner. He's been Andrew Jones. Appreciate y'all watching as always. Like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell too. I'm going to continue to do that because there's so many videos we're going to be putting out now that football is in full swing. So hit that notification bell so you know every single time we upload. See you on the next one. Thanks.
Thanks.